Before Diego Maradona became football's greatest rebel, he almost died in a pit of human waste, just 2 years old. This is the dark, unfiltered truth of where the legend began. A story born not in luxury, but in a place forgotten by map makers. Villa Fiorito. On the dusty outskirts of Buenos Aires, Argentina, this shanty town was a labyrinth of tin roof shacks and dirt roads that turned into rivers of mud whenever it rained. 8 people. 3 tiny rooms. No electricity. No running water. Winter nights. 1 blanket. In the 1950s, Argentina was undergoing a massive economic migration. Millions of poor workers from the rural provinces, including Diego's parents, flocked to Buenos Aires searching for factory jobs. Instead, they found themselves trapped in illegal, squalid settlements known as villas miserias. These were places built on land nobody wanted, completely ignored by the state. This wasn't just a tough neighborhood, it was a human storage facility where survival was a daily negotiation. To say the Maradona family was poor is an understatement. They lived on the absolute edge of human survival. In these slums, there were no modern sewage systems. Instead, the residents dug deep, open pits in the ground to act as septic tanks. They were dark, deep holes filled with toxic waste. A famous story from his childhood claims that on one silent, pitch-black night, little Diego stepped out of the unstable wooden door of his family's shack. He could not see where the solid ground ended. With one careless step, the earth vanished beneath him. He fell straight into an open, uncovered cesspool. It is a terrifying image, a helpless child sinking into freezing, thick, toxic waste. According to these family accounts, his uncle, Cirillo, heard a faint splash and rushed to the noise. Plunging his arm deep into the cold filth, Cirillo pulled with all his might, dragging the choking toddler back to the surface. As Diego gasped for air, his uncle whispered words that would echo through history. "Dieguito, keep your head above the dirt." Whether this dramatic incident is a literal historical fact or a myth born from the storytelling of the slums, its symbolic truth is undeniable. Because from that moment on, Diego's life was a constant, violent struggle to keep his head above the filth. The slum did not create suffering. It created Maradona. Every single day was a battle for survival. His father, Chitoro, worked exhausting 12-hour shifts at a local bone-crushing factory, earning barely enough to buy a single loaf of bread. The family survived on the smell of burnt fat and soup. His mother, Dona Tota, would frequently pretend to have a stomach ache at dinner time, telling her children she was not hungry just so they could eat. Diego saw this sacrifice. He felt the pain of watching his mother starve herself so he could live. This extreme poverty did not break him. Instead, it lit a fire inside his soul. In the center of the slum, there was a patch of uneven, rugged wasteland called Las Siete Chanchitas. It was not a football pitch. It was a minefield of broken glass, sharp rocks, animal waste, and deep potholes. When the summer heat hit Argentina, the clay baked into a hard, dusty surface that scraped his knees until they bled. To play here, he had to learn how to control a ball in ways no European academy could ever teach. He was constantly playing against boys twice his age and size, boys who did not hesitate to slide tackle him onto the hard gravel. This constant physical abuse taught him how to use his low center of gravity to shield the ball. It forced him to develop an almost superhuman sense of balance. If he fell, the rocks would cut him. If he miscalculated a bounce, the ball would disappear into the mud. The mud of Fiorito did not hold him back. It became his ultimate training ground. When he eventually played on the perfect, green grass of Europe's grandest stadiums, those million-dollar pitches felt like soft carpets. The slum did not create suffering. It created Maradona. His incredible skills on the dirt were first recognized by a local boy named Gregorio Carrizo, affectionately known as Goyo. Goyo was a prodigy himself, playing for a local neighborhood team called Estrella Roja or Red Star. But even Goyo was mesmerized by what Diego could do with a ball of rags. Goyo would eventually become the key that unlocked Diego's future, telling youth scouts about a kid in the slums who did things with a ball that defied gravity. Even as a child genius, Diego knew he was playing for more than just trophies. Every dribble was an escape plan. Every goal was a step away from starvation. He realized that his left foot was the only weapon strong enough to destroy the walls of poverty surrounding his family. Greatness is not born in luxury. It is forged in the darkest, most unforgiving corners of the earth. He survived the hunger. He survived the violence of the slums. He survived the filth. And in doing so, he built an armor that no defender in the world could ever break. But this is only the very beginning of the legend. Because while the mud gave him his skills, he still needed a weapon. He needed something that would allow him to turn his raw talent into magic. On his 3rd birthday, he received a gift. That tiny gift would become more valuable than food. It would become the oxygen that kept him alive, the only thing that could truly set him free. What was this mysterious gift, and how did it trigger the greatest football revolution in history? Find out in the next episode of this special series. Before you go, tell me in the comments, do you believe that modern football academies ruin the raw, natural talent that players like Maradona developed in the streets? Let me know your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss the next chapter of this incredible journey. Keep your head above the dirt, and I will see you in the next video.